CIO News. I'm Madhuri, Pednekar, your host for the broadcast and a conference producer at CIO News. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website cionews.co.in and on our CIO News LinkedIn handle. This is an exclusive fireside chat powered by Avaya on transformation through customer experience. Businesses are built by experiences they provide, and every day, millions of those experiences are delivered by Avaya. Avaya is shaping what's next for the future of work with innovation and partnership that delivers game changing business benefits. Let's dive in and let me introduce my guest for today, Mr. Dhaval Mankad. He's a Vice President IT at Havmor Ice Cream Private Limited. Awarded, recognized, and seasoned techno commercial IT professional with over 27 years of rich and diverse experience across industry verticals in leading IT led business processes and digital transformation. He has a successful track record of leading and managing large technology organizations, innovations, operational ex- excellence initiative, technology, and organization transformation that leverages 360-degree experience of technology and business to create technology setup, enabling business for speed to market and maximize revenue. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, Mr. Dhaval.
Thank you, Madhuri.
Thank you. So along with me, we also have Mr. Saurabh Lakhanpal. He's a sales specialist at Avaya and also our moderator for today's session.
Thanks, Madhuri, and welcome, Mr. Dhaval, to the session.
Thank you.
And
Hi, hi.
yeah, hope you're doing good. And around this COVID situation, everything is fine now.
Absolutely, absolutely. I,
All right.
if I can
So
ask
I'll
what,
start. Yeah, so I'll start my questions around the same COVID situation only. And the first question is, how did your company dealt with the pandemic time? And were you monitoring your employees in the work from home model or the hybrid work environment?
see, as a manufacturing organization, we had never got a concept of work from home earlier prior to the COVID situation. It's only the COVID situation where we experimented or had some sort of work from home. And I would say we managed the situation pretty well because of some proactive approach by the entire management team, to which I'm also part of. So as the cases were on rise in the early March 2020, we thought of doing some mock run around work from home with all the laptops and whatever other resources we had, and it was successful. And we had distributed whatever resources we were having to all the employees, whoever were eligible for work from home, other than the marketing or the, I mean, sales and the manufacturing team. And when the lockdown was announced, nationwide lockdown, we had no panic situation. And the other helpful thing in that situation was our cloud first strategy. So we were having all the critical instances of applications, business applications, be it S4 HANA or distributor management system or the parlor systems, everything on cloud. So that made the things easy. From the employee monitoring point of view, we are not monitoring employees, because I feel that's sort of breach of privacy, leading to the breach of privacy. And as a management, we have not we are not tracking employees thing. And what I believe is ultimately it's the outcome based employment, and it between team members and the function head to deliver what business wants. So that's going on, and I think people are well aligned, and it's all matter of trust between the department heads and employee. And as long as the work is delivered, as long as what business needs is delivered, it's fine.
All right. You talked about cloud in the environment, and with the current growth in technology, how important do you think is to migrate to the cloud? And what factors would you consider, while migrating to the cloud?
I think there is no choice. I mean, organizations, those who aspire to innovate or remain competitive, I think the cloud is the only way, along with the hybrid infrastructure. Of course, I mean, we are not saying that the data centers or the on-premises infrastructure will go away, but cloud in a way is helping organizations to go agile, to have faster go to market strategies, and help innovate faster. If I talk about our own setup, we have very lean team of about 5 members team only. and rest everything is outsourced to the technology partners in terms of development or the infrastructure security management. So from the IT perspective, it helps getting away with all your mundane day-to-day technology management task, and rather you focus on the business element. Cost is one of the aspect, but if somebody tries to compare the cost vis-a-vis on-prem vis-a-vis cloud, it may not be a viable proposition on first end, but as you go ahead, one will get the benefit as how cloud is helping them to remain aligned to the business and deliver more value rather than doing all day-to-day technology management.
But yeah, if you ask a finance professional, he would say OPEX is always better than a CAPEX. Although you end up paying a little bit more than what CAPEX you pay, right?
Yes, but then you get away with so many issues. I mean, in terms of your talent management, the 24 by 7 availability, the dependency on your connectivity, frequent change of hardware and frequent upgrade of hardware. I mean, if I take case of our own systems, our distributor management system, for example, it is being accessed by 500 people at around the clock kind of thing. Same is the case with SAP system. All are transactional system, and we can't afford to have single minute downtime with this system. Now having them on prem and maintaining 24 by 7 availability is a challenge, and you need to have so much of a higher level of workforce and the resources, which is, I mean, compensated by the cloud infrastructure.
Mhm.
And I'm we are 100% utilizing cloud that way.
Great to hear that. And looking at the security front, there has been dramatic change in security and the threat vectors, and IT security has remained a great concern for many leaders, right? For you, how do you manage and monitor the IT security? And after COVID specifically, what are your BCP plans? Because we live in a VUCA world, and anything can happen. In days time, if not weeks. And so what is your views around that?
Yeah, so security is ongoing journey. It's not a, I mean, project that you complete security project and then you're done with that. So it's a journey, and with cloud also it remains the same. What journey you may have with on-premise landscape, cloud doesn't change that perspective. So we need to remain secure. So there are so many products and services available in terms of security. What I feel is we need to pick up the relevant right tools which is applicable to the organization. Something which is good for you may not be good for me. Something which is good for me may not be good for you. It's that kind of uh, funda. So, but we have been continuously educating our own employees also through the awareness sessions, through mailers, and have been constantly upgrading our security infrastructure to the next generation of infrastructure, be it your antivirus. So we were having the traditional antivirus. We have moved to XDR based antivirus, similarly for cloud landscape. And we have been experimenting with multiple on-demand tools, which gives you visibility into vulnerabilities and the malware scannings and all other such areas. And we also avail cloud-based services. So we are on to AWS. So we use their services in terms of well-architected reviews, which helps in mapping your entire landscape with the best practices. There are a lot of native tools which are there in both AWS and Azure. We continuously experiment with those tools to map and reassess our security posture. We have adopted email security, which gives a lot of visibility that how many mails are getting blocked. To our surprise, almost 40 to 45% mails are getting blocked in terms of spam and phishing mail and other such things. But on top of this, the awareness is the topmost thing. So if your employees are not aware, you are bound to get attacked. So that's where our employees are also playing a major role, and they immediately they notice, bring into notice any suspicious mail or communication to us. So it's a journey. It's continuously going on. In terms of BCP, yes, well before COVID, we had real time disaster recovery for SAP, and it gives almost 0 minute recovery point. So that's the kind of infrastructure we have set up for SAP. For all other backups, we have been having multiple tools for cloud-based backup, be it on your endpoints or the servers. So that's a continuous journey which we are having, and we are continuously evaluating different tools and migrating to the newer next generation tools on all these things.
All right. And around the digital transformation, we have seen many other companies, transforming themselves digitally. And you yourself has spearheaded multiple digital transformation initiatives within the company. This question is more around, what kind of advice would you want to give to the future leaders, or, the budding IT professionals across the world?
One one fundamental advice is never digitize as is processes. That's what our learning at Havmor over last 2.5 years, when we started our digitization journey in later part of 2018. So what principle we have been adopting is the discover a new wow. What we call is the new way of working. So unless you simplify the process and capture the right data, digitization is not going to help. And that's how we have been working at Havmor. And over last 2.5 years, probably 50,000 plus hours of productivity has been added to the system through the different digitization projects. So important aspects, your top level buying. Without that, nothing is going to happen. So you need top C level buying. It's a culture shift, so everybody has to be together to make this change. And most importantly, you need IT team who can own this digital transformation. And that's how our cloud and outsource model helps with the lean team, where lean team is only focused with business engagement and drive own this digital transformation initiatives.
Yep. And in the current times, we have seen the leadership role has changed a lot. And, from a CIO perspective, how do you see CIO's role changing, and what kind of newer challenges you see that CIOs are facing nowadays?
Absolutely. I mean, CIO role has changed over last couple of years, and it is further changing with the changing dynamics of the situation. In terms of CIO challenges, I mean, the common challenges, if we discuss, one is of course the cost is a common pain area for everybody. Then the talent retention is another area which everybody is facing, and to get people who can work with business, or the people with business acumen is hard to find. I mean, that's my challenge as well, and I think everybody is facing similar kind of challenges. And of course, the other bigger challenge is the faster pace of technology change. The moment you implement some technology and it matures, by that time something new will come up, and partners and OEMs will start pushing you for upgrades. So that's another challenge. Security is again a challenge. So of course you need to remain updated, you need to remain aware about the all the happenings around security and manage. And the other trait which is required at the leadership level is the change management. The CIOs are required to be a change agent these days. You know, need to know more business rather than the technology. I mean, if somebody is to drive analytics projects, he doesn't need to know how analytics tool work, and he doesn't need to develop dashboard, but his job is to understand business requirement and align business with right solution provider for analytics, for example. So that's the kind of role I think leaders are required to play.
Right. You talked about analytics. So how important do you think analytics and AI are when it comes to customer journey mapping, or are you, leveraging different digital channels as well for providing a superior customer experience?
So we have not adopted any tools so far in terms of AI, but whatever systems we have, we are leveraging data to analyze and plan out various product launches or the various business continuity. For example, we have presence in pan India, 20 states. So with this kind of systems we have put in place, we get product level, state level visibility into margins and gross margins, and then various bifurcation of expense. What's the sales cost, and what's the transportation cost in each region for each set of product. Based on that, it gives a lot of visibility for a decision of continuity or further expansion of business. We have very small footprint of parlor business where we get the direct consumer interactions. So those channels we are leveraging to get consumer insights, and we are in the process of implementing certain tools wherein we get the consumer insights, basis which we can push more cross sell upsell for the products within that region. And we have distributor management system which is not giving us direct consumer data, but we get the distributor insights across different states. So in a way it represents the consumer demand from respective states. So we leverage those data and try to have our trade promotion schemes or our the sales extraction strategy around those data points. We have started our analytics journey also. We are in the process of setting up cloud native data lake kind of thing on the AWS, and basis on that we are building analytics platform. Probably another 6 months, 8 months, we will have that journey completed. What we are trying to do is we are trying to give a platform to the sales and the relevant people, where it's a sales service data. People need not struggle for data with MIS team or IT team or other counterparts, but people can simply go to that platform and uh, get whatever data they want.
Right. And lastly, which are the technology trends that you see would be, which maybe we or you see over the next 12 months?
See, I think cloud and digital transformation tools will continue to ride this exponential growth what we are seeing, because more and more people are now understanding the benefit of digital cloud adoption. Over last 2 years we have seen massive growth, and I think we will continue to see the growth in that area. People have understood the benefit of resilient organizations, how important it is to remain resilient. So we will continue to see the growth and more innovation happening around the BCP data management backup tools. And I think that's the area where people will continue to invest more. Cybersecurity, again, I mean, as we discuss every day, I mean, hackers are more savvy than the organizations or the tools we have. So that area also will continue to see the innovation. And I mean, it's all about everything as a service. So we are seeing that happening, and people will try to adopt those tools to become more agile. Technology leaders are also looking for all these cloud tools or the service areas, so that they can focus more on business engagements with the changing role.
Thank you, Mr. Dhaval, for your time today and for the candid answers that you provided. It was
My
a
pleasure.
wonderful, insightful session.
My pleasure.
Back to you, Madhuri.
Um, well, thank you, Mr. Dhaval, for sharing your views and your journey with us today. And Saurabh, thank you for moderating the entire session. So thank you once again.
Thank you. My pleasure.